She scraped debris and dirt from underneath her body to make more space to crawl under the log. The ground under her began to crumble. A mound of mulch collapsed, and she slipped into a hole. A soft crevasse at the bottom of the hole opened wider with the weight of her body, and she fell farther into a cave. Pitch black. The hole smelled like decaying leaves and worse. She lifted her head, removed some dirt and branches, and created a small opening by removing debris above her head. A streak of light, large enough to enable her to see, came through the top of the cave. The voices came closer. She dared not sneeze, cough, breathe. Noise, heart beating, pounding, so loud they must hear it. Branches breaking from footsteps, coming closer. The footsteps stopped on top of her. They stopped, right above her. Please, God, please, make them move on. Every hair on her body stood at attention, frozen along with the rest of her. More footsteps arrived. They stopped and remained above her. Wood pieces drifted down, weakening the ground. If the ground caved in, she'd be found. Closing her eyes, she begged to be transported away, beamed away from this nightmare. The small cave had a dirt wall behind her that supported her body. She explored the walls with tiny movements of her hands, like reading Braille in the limited light. A hard, round object was not 10 inches from her face. When she touched the deep depressions, she recognized the shape. A skull. She held back a scream. Overwhelmed with dizziness, she struggled to remain alert. She squinted in the darkness and continued touching the skull that was covered in a linen cloth, rotting away, exposing eye sockets. Nasty long hair remained attached to the bony head. She pushed against the dirt wall, separating her face an inch more from the thing. The men remained above her and spoke in muffled tones. They speculated on which way she could have gone. Any movement, any sound, would be a death sentence. This grave could become her grave. Never to be found, buried, eaten by worms like the skeleton. Her children abandoned by their mother, who disappeared in Colombia. The sound of peeing came from above. Urine drained into the hole and onto her head.